If you could just tell us where you were born and where you grew up.
Okay, I was born July 2nd, 43 in Siberia. My mother died in 57. She was 32.
Oh, so young.
Yeah.
So you grew up with one sibling.
We grew up in the orphanage.
Once your mom died, you were sent to the orphanage.
Yes, in Argentina.
And were you in Argentina when the war started?
I was in Siberia when the war started. In 43, I was in Siberia.
Okay.
And then we escaped. We went through the relocation camps. We used to call refugee camps.
So how old were you when you went to the relocation camps?
We started, when I was born, we started escaping. The story was,
Yes.
my uncle was in the Polish army. Father was in the Russian army. Because he was in the Russian army, when the Russians came into Poland, they made the mayor of the city. He realized that the Nazis were coming.
Yes.
So he told the people in the town to run. But they didn't believe that the Nazis were going to be worse than the Russians. So my mother, my father, about 8, 9 people, they went the other way because the Nazis were not going to Siberia. So when my father realized that the husband of my aunt, he was a captain, they killed him. So we started to escape.
Where did you escape to?
From Poland
Yes.
to Russia. And then from there we went to the relocation camp.
And those
escaped,
were
you
in
know.
Siberia?
Right, yeah. So it was not very nice.
Do you remember anything about what it was like?
Yes, I remember even when I was 2 years old, my father told me not to talk, not to speak, because any noise that I was going to make, everybody was going to get killed. So we were escaping. One of my aunts get paralyzed. I remember we crossed either a frozen river or a frozen lake. So I couldn't speak, I couldn't cry, nothing.
Do you know in the relocation camps, was it for Jews only, or do you know?
Pretty sure it was only for Jews. We finally escape all that and we get to the relocation camps. Do you know the only country that accepted Jews in South America?
No.
Brazil. I didn't have a birth certificate. Nothing. The only reason why we could go to Brazil was because they will accept Jews. My brother was born there in 47. I was smuggled in. If they would have catch me, they would have killed me, whatever they were going to do with me. So I crossed from Paraguay to Argentina by myself. They put me in a train. I went to the Grand Central Station in Argentina. I couldn't speak.
At what age?
I was 5 years old.
Were you being sent to meet any family, or who were you being
there
sent
was
to meet?
someone that was waiting for me. And as a matter of fact, I was in the Maccabi Games in 89 in Israel. My
Yes.
daughter was in the Maccabi Games in 2005.
Yes.
She was the coach of the American team in gymnastics, and she was sent. There are thousands of hotels in Argentina. They sent her to the hotel across the street from the Grand Central Station where I arrived. But now she arrived with helicopters, the police. She was a big star now. But I came in a criminal, small criminal.
When you went by yourself, were you eventually reunited with your parents?
Eventually, I was reunited in Argentina, yeah.
Did you sense any anti-Semitism in Argentina? What was
When
life
I was
like?
living in Argentina,
Yes.
no.
What was life like there?
Personally, I didn't have any problem. I was in the Zionist movement, so I made Aliyah to Israel in 63,
How old were you then?
18.
What was life like in Israel?
Great. I loved Israel. I didn't want to leave Israel, but my father passed away, so I had to go and make arrangements in Argentina.
And did you marry in Israel?
No, in the United States.
Would you say that the events of the Holocaust changed your life?
I didn't want to think about the Holocaust. I didn't feel that, by not being in the concentration camp,
Yes.
I didn't feel that I was a Holocaust survivor. But after that, people started telling me, yes,
Yes.
you are a Holocaust survivor. Whatever you remember, tell.
What brought you to the United States?
Oh, that was an accident. I didn't want to come to the United States. I'm one of the few that didn't want to come here. But I don't want to get into the politics of that.
You married and you had
Yes,
children?
I'm married. I have 3 daughters. One of my granddaughters was in the Olympics. She won the gold medal in gymnastics. It's unbelievable. Her name, Jade Carey, 2020 Olympics in Japan.